Hey Scrummies, welcome to this Sprint Review live demo session. Friends, there are tons of articles, YouTube videos on Sprint Review, but no one shows us how it actually looks like. Now this session is our small attempt to show how in real life Sprint Review looks like. So if you are new Scrum Master who just joined your first organization or aspiring Scrum Master who want to know how Sprint Review looks like, then I assure you after watching this complete session, you will be more confident on your job. Friends, all our team members in this session are Scrum Masters and spend a lot of their personal time to make this session successful. So please appreciate their efforts in the form of big like. And the last, if you're a Scrum Master and new to our channel Careers Talk, then please do subscribe. You will find tons of valuable content for Scrum Master on our channel. So let's begin this session. Over to you, Shashank.
Thank you, Sanant. Welcome all. My name is Shashank Pachnuri. I'm a Scrum Master in India with 10 years of IT experience. I'm an Agile enthusiast, helping organizations and teams on their journey towards Agile transformation with an Agile mindset, using various frameworks, tools, and techniques. In today's topic, we will be discussing about Sprint Review, its purpose, who all are the participants, duration, and more. Please stay tuned till the end where we demonstrate a real-time Sprint Review meeting. So to begin with, what is the purpose of the Sprint Review? The main purpose of the Sprint Review is to inspect and adapt what is being delivered at the end of the sprint. The whole team gathers and review what is being done. This event is to evaluate the outcome of the sprint. The product is being inspected whether it meets the definition of done or not. The definition of done is generally decided in the beginning of the sprint. A potentially shippable product increment is reviewed, inspected, and then adapted based on the feedback. Collaboration between the Scrum team and its stakeholders is the key during the sprint review. The sprint review aims to get feedback from the stakeholders on the user stories done during the sprint. The definition of user stories include deployment to production, acceptance testing, and anything else needed to release the user story to the final user potentially. This is the deliverable and the end goal of the sprint. The whole meeting should be focused on reviewing the shippable product increment. Another purpose of sprint review is to review what is being done and make changes to the product backlog to optimize the value. It is important to note that the sprint review is not a demo. While the team showcases what they have done, the purpose is to collaborate as a group, take feedback, and decide on how to move forward. Who all are the participants in sprint review? So the whole Scrum team gathers to review what is being built. During this event, the Scrum team, product owner, and the stakeholders collaborate and review together on what is being done during the end of the sprint. As the purpose of the sprint review is to take feedback from the stakeholders. All the people who have a stake in the sprint deliverable must attend the review meeting. So it comprises of the Scrum team, that is the Scrum Master, the Scrum team, the product owner, and must attend the sprint review. They collectively need to collaborate with all the stakeholders and answer any questions and take feedback on the next steps. And the stakeholders are people within the organization that have a stake in sprint deliverable. These could be program managers, other Scrum Masters, marketing sales, IT support, business development teams, and sometimes we can also invite customers and also the end users, which is optional. And it varies from team to team. And how long? What is the duration of a sprint review meeting? The duration of a sprint review meeting totally depends on the length of the sprint. As the length of the sprint is time boxed, so is the length of the sprint review meeting. Yes, time boxed. If the sprint length is 1 week, this meeting should not be more than 1 hour. For 2 weeks, this meeting should not be more than 2 hours. For 3 weeks of sprint, this meeting should not exceed more than 3 hours. Likewise, for 4 weeks, this meeting should not be more than for 4 hours. And how often does this sprint review meeting happens? Sprint review is one of the most important Scrum event, and the sprint review is the second last event of the sprint, followed by the sprint retrospective, which usually happens on the last day of the sprint. So what is the agenda of the sprint review? So basically, the Scrum Master needs to ensure that the prior invitations are sent to all the attendees. It is the responsibility of Scrum Master to make sure that the event takes place. Everyone gathers to attend the meeting, and the Scrum Master facilitates the meeting through by following the agenda given below, right? So the agenda is nothing but to introduce, if it's a new team that are formed recently, which they are just kicking off their agile transformation in their projects. So the Scrum Master introduces the new team and set expectations. And the why do we hold the sprint review? So when we hold the sprint review for the first time, the Scrum Master explains what is sprint review, and he also introduces the PO and the Scrum Master together, introduce the stakeholders to the Scrum team. So this is also to set the expectations of why are we actually having this important event? What is the importance of this? So for the PO, for the first time, it used to set expectation to collaborative working session, to have a collaborative working session. And it is also to ensure the business value is delivered. The review working here we need to definitely review the working software produced during the sprint. Share sprint. So the PO has to share the sprint and the product incremental goals, connected to the review roadmap and or the release plan. Set context on where the sprint is in the overall efforts, release or increment. Focus less on individual user stories and more on the value created. And we need to answer the question, how does the sprint add value to overall product iteration? So it is the responsibility of product owner to showcase stakeholders that what is the value that is being delivered out of the sprint, and how are we relating it with the roadmap that is already set for the product vision to achieve the product goal. We need to review the value delivered by the team. So the Scrum team starts showing the value that the team has achieved. And it's once they have presented the reviewed the working software with the stakeholders, we will be receiving some feedback. We need to note down the feedback from the stakeholders on the value delivered. So once that feedback is noted down, so that we can refine the product backlog items, which the PO and the Scrum team together collaborate, and they can make changes to the existing product backlog. And then it is time for also the Scrum team to share their challenges and the risks that might be involved during the sprint, that they have faced during the sprint, and some challenges that they can resolve with this only with the stakeholders. They can put forward those questions to them, and they can ask the questions directly to the stakeholders, which will get addressed within the call, or maybe after the call if there is some dependency. Right? So once we note down and we get the required help from the stakeholders, then the product owner, if the product owner can show what is the plan for the next sprint, if it is already there, right? So and towards the end, it is the time where we celebrate and have some fun. So it's time to celebrate all together the hard work of the Scrum team that has accomplished before they plunge into the next sprint. So the key takeaway is to ensure that the sprint review is recognized as an event to make critical business decisions about product development. How do we provide inputs during the sprint review? As the time is very short, and while providing the feedback, discussions can go on for a long time. We can use post-its or sticky on the mural or Miro, whatever whiteboard tools that you're using, to write input, or use a simple document to track feedback if you are in the same meeting room. If the users are familiar with your project management tool, they can add their product feedback directly to the product backlog. Or if they're using a document online like TFS Wiki or Confluence, You can add a page with the feedback of each sprint review, or you can create a page in OneNote dedicated to the sprint reviews feedback. So these are different ways where you can input the feedback or the gathered observations that we can make note of during the sprint review. Who leads the sprint review? So as you can see, the host, where the Scrum team presents the results of their work to key stakeholders and progress towards the product goal is discussed here. So here the facilitator is the Scrum Master, wherein the PO or the Scrum team can take a lead where they can host the session, where they will be projecting what they have, what value they have delivered for this part of the sprint. The next slide talks about what should we prepare for this sprint. How do we prepare? So this event is a very important event meeting wherein there's a lots of preparation takes place in the back end. So these are the activities that they usually the product owner identifies stakeholders for the review, and the invitations are sent and everybody's invited. So we need to just ensure that everybody is there, and we need to ensure that the Scrum Master's responsibility is that to ensure that all the user stories have met the definition of done. He needs to get the acknowledgement and the agreement or the commitment that we have done towards the beginning of the sprint with the Scrum team and the PO, right? So there should be an internal review within the team with the PO so that it's all set ready for the sprint review before we display or share the value that we have delivered as part of the sprint, right? And also we need to sort out things. Suppose we have selected, suppose we have shortlisted for this particular sprint goal, we have listed 10 user stories and we are able to complete only 6 due to some dependencies or some challenges that we have. So we need to ensure that what is already done and what is not done, and that needs to get updated into the Jira or any project management tool that you're using, right? So yeah, like I said, we need to identify and the user stories should meet the definition of done. That is nothing but the commitment that we have done prior. And it is very essential to present the sprint review as one team. What this means is a clear plan and order in which the team will present. Usually the product owner starts by talking about the goals of the sprint and what functionality is delivered. The Scrum Master can show the burn down charts and the velocity of the team. Afterwards, the Scrum team will showcase their work. It's always good to decide beforehand the order in which the presentation will happen and if need to prepare anything. Example, any setup or any specific data, test data, anything that you want to display. It's also encouraged that most, if not all, the team members to present what they have achieved during the sprint. It's not a good practice that the same one or two team members present the entire team's work. So it is always good to motivate or encourage that all of the team members to come and speak in the sprint review meeting and showcase their work that they have produced or done or delivered as part of that particular sprint. So what actually happens in sprint review? Execution of the sprint review. Now we are done with all the preparation activities. It's time to execute the sprint review meeting. There are some best practices that we need to follow to conduct the sprint review meetings effectively. First of all, we need to summarize the work done in the sprint. The sprint review starts with the product owner presenting the sprint goal set for the sprint. PO also presents the backlog items that associate with the sprint goal. The product owner explains what product backlog items have their status as done and not done. So this information gives a good view to stakeholders of the achievement of the sprint against the goals defined. Inspect product increment. The Scrum team inspects the product increment with the stakeholders by discussing the approach to achieve the sprint goal. They also talk about the challenges they faced and how they resolved them. The Scrum team will answer any questions that the stakeholders may have on any of these work items. At this point, it's essential that the discussion remains focused on the work at hand and not deviate from anything not relevant. Scrum Masters needs to pitch in to park any such discussions and remind the team that it is a time box meeting and the demonstration of all the work that needs to be completed. Discuss and adapt. So the sprint review is an opportunity for shared understanding between all the stakeholders. The people who create it, that is nothing but the Scrum team, and the people who benefit from it, the end users, the customers, and the stakeholders. The product owner discusses the product backlog as per its current status. The product owner also presents the target dates, rough milestones on what will come up in the subsequent sprints. The entire group deliberates on what to do next. The basis of this discussion is what work needs to finish, including any spillovers from the current sprint. As a group, the team discusses the priority items that we should take in the next sprint. The stakeholders, like the marketing team, could provide valuable insights to how the potential use of the product might have changed based on the marketing conditions. And in that context, what makes the most sense to pick up next? So what is the output of the sprint review? Once the sprint review is done, what do we get out of it? So the product owner will take the feedback and adapt the product backlog and prioritize accordingly. So there can be some changes made based on the feedback that we have, and we can make changes to the product backlog items that we have and in the backlog. The Scrum Master can also talk about the team velocity and how the team is improving every sprint, which also feeds to how much work we can finish in the subsequent sprints. The sprint review meeting ends with a shared understanding between the stakeholders about the accomplishments of the work so far, how much work is pending, and how much prioritization of work happens for upcoming sprint. So this helps us to reprioritize the product backlog, add new items to the product backlog, and it also helps us to do better planning for the next sprint. So these are the benefits of having a sprint review. So now let us discuss about what is not a sprint review. So these are some of the myths that we really need to take a keen look about as to what is not a sprint review, right? So the sprint review is called a demo by the Scrum team and stakeholders. So usually we have come across many teams where they think that it's only a demo and nothing else apart from demo, right? So by treating the sprint review primarily as a demo, the purpose of this crucial opportunity for inspection and adaptation is lost. Too many Scrum teams approach the sprint review as their moment to show progress, to give a product update, to sell what is built to stakeholders, or to talk about what they do. The next myth is the sprint review is a PowerPoint presentation with screenshots of supposedly working software. So ideally, the working software should be a live working shippable product that where the stakeholders or the Scrum team which is showing the product to the Scrum team to the stakeholders should show the live working model, not the screenshots or any presentation using a PowerPoint. It should be a working module. So none of the stakeholders present are using or going to use the product. So we need to ensure that the stakeholders who are present in the meeting are the ones who are going to ultimately use, or rather than the end users who are going to use the product. Instead of just having some random participants who do not provide any feedback, right, and do not add any value to that meeting. So we just need to ensure that we invite the right people so that we get the right feedback on the product that we are showing during the sprint review. And it also helps us to avoid. There's another myth that we sometimes there are hardly any inputs from the stakeholders, right? Or they're not invited to. So sometimes we just, like I mentioned in the previous myth, that we need to ensure that the right stakeholders are invited, and we need to ensure that we are getting some feedback from the stakeholders, right? And if they're not sharing any feedback, either they are not understanding it, or we are not able to reach to what we have actually planned, or we are not able to meet their expectations. So we need to clear those ambiguities or those disturbances in order to ensure that we get some input from the stakeholders every sprint review, which will help us to prioritize, reprioritize, add more to the product backlog, and keep on enhancing the product as we go forward. And usually the keyboard and mouse used to click through the product never actually reaches the hands of stakeholders, users during the sprint review, but remains soundly with the Scrum team. So the product or the MVP or any demo, any software that we are sharing or that we are displaying during the sprint review should always be handy to the stakeholders or the end users so that they can actually use that by on their machines, so they can look for any feedback or any fallbacks or any issues or bugs that they can identify, without which we cannot get the live feed as to how the live feeling of as to how while using that particular product, right? So we need to ensure that we are giving a working software to the stakeholders and the end users so they can use them and give us the proper feedback. There's an applause after every display of working software completes, or worse, the Scrum team is booed out of the room, right? So it should not be either just like right after the sprint review, oh, that's an amazing job, we just clap and we just disperse. So that's not what it should ideally happen, right? Or rather, if it didn't meet with their expectation and they just simply boo and they just leave the meeting, right? So this is not how it works. So ideally, we should get a proper feedback as to, even though there's a lot of things that the team has already provided, there is always room for improvement, right? So it could be very minor, but it could also have a huge impact, right? So any minor feedback is very much important or needed in order to get a better product out of each sprint. And usually there is a general air of nervousness in the Scrum team, right? If the Scrum team are quite new, that is quite understandable. We need to completely motivate them as a Scrum Master and the team together, and the people, we need to just keep motivating them. But even after a couple of sprints, they are still nervous and they're quite not so open to share with the stakeholders and openly speak to them. So there is something wrong. So we need to really work out on that with the team and keep them uh, motivate them or encourage them to open up and be transparent as to what their challenge is, right? So we need to figure out that we need to figure out those air bubbles, right? And stakeholders are easily distinguishable from this Scrum team, both occupying their own side of the room, right? If at all we are at offices, they all sit in different corners of the room, or they just separate far away, sit far away from the Scrum team, and they're separated. So ideally, it should be like all of them together as a team. We need to just collaborate and sit together on the same table and discuss, as all of this is our product and this is our end goal to achieve the product goal for after every sprint goal that we're achieving, right? So these are nothing but few myths that we thought to bring up to all of you, so that we know as to what is not a sprint review, right? And with that, thank you so much for being so patient, but definitely please hold on. Right now, right after this slide, we are going to begin our working or live real-time sprint review meeting. And please do support our channel, like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope the team is all ready. I'll just quickly check and we'll get back to you shortly. So, thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Shashank, for this wonderful presentation. I hope you guys have loved this presentation. And so we have covered the theoretical part with the help of Shashank, and let's now move on to the actual demo session. So over to you, Shashank and Sindhu. Why don't you tell us about your team and everything, and introduce us? Yeah, guys.
Sure. Thanks, Sunil. Thanks for that. So this is the live demo of the sprint review. So I'm the Scrum Master, and Sindhu is the PO, product owner, and Amit, Neha, Shankari, and Venkata are part of Scrum team, and Manoj, Arun, and Ramya are part of the stakeholders. So today we'll be going through sprint one, where we'll be. So today we'll be going through sprint one, where we are going to show what we have delivered as part of the sprint based on the requirements that we have received from our stakeholders. So I'll hand over the mic to Sindhu so that we can go over the sprint goal. And over to you, Sindhu.
Thank you so much, Shashank. Hi, all. So, we have done a great job in this sprint. And as Shashank already said, Amit, Neha, and Shankari and Venkata are the Scrum team members. They did an amazing job. I could say, appreciate the team for your work. So, team, what we have achieved so far is great. And I would like to provide some overview of this project. And I'm again saying the same thing. Why? Because some couple of team members we have added newly in the sprint. So, what is the purpose of this, and what is the vision we as a team going to have? Okay, so stock Shopify is a project, and our parent organization is Shopify. We are, as a child, we have created this one. Going forward, slowly, the data has been transferred to our end, and it will be a massive application. It's not only a web application, we are about to create a mobile application as well, which will be a very user friendly one to all. And the interface with the users is going to be an amazing experience for the user. So these are all the core areas we are about to concentrate. What is the purpose of this thing is that since the name itself replicate the stocky Shopify, we are about to maintain the stock details, and via this mobile application we will be having a shopping the stocks over our application. So we are like a third party thing, and slowly going forward, our parent organization, all the data will be translated to us. At that point we may expect some huge data will be transferred into our project. So that time we need to handle those data. And as well, our main vision on this is that not only having the text message or something else, some kind of pictorial representation which really attracts young people. So that thing we are about to concentrate more, even though some people might have think that they're not good at read English or some languages. So for them to make clearly understand on our vision and to make this application very friendly to them, pictures as well is going to take part more on this. So that kind of pictures will definitely impress the youth as well as old. So those things are the main area, and maintaining the stocks with good performance and reliability and security is a key for this one. So this is our vision, and we are about to progress on this vision. So we have just started our sprint. So since our sprint one, we had just had this as a very chill period. We had some little items only. So going forward, we will be expecting some more user stories to be added. Of course, it would be definitely a sustainable increment only. So this is our vision. Any doubts, any questions from your end, team? But can you please share your screen? Yeah, thank you so much, Amit. So for our project stock Shopify, we have picked up 3 user stories for this sprint. And our sprint goal is that to enable all our users to provide some login access for our website stock Shopify application. So this is mainly our sprint goal. Of course, when we are progressing, we have faced some bugs and issues. Irrespective of all odds, team has perfectly finished all these items. Kudos to the team once again. And I'm very happy that we have finished this item for this sprint. Now, Amit and teams, our Scrum team members will will provide the product increment to you. Over to Amit. Amit, can you please take up? Can you please provide us? Yeah, thank you, Amit.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, thank you, Sindhu, for that intro. So let's quickly go over to the increment first, and then maybe we'll come back to this. I'll just need to stop share and reshare. Just a second.
Sure, sure.
Okay. You're able to see the web portal, right?
Yes, Amit, we could.
Okay, so this is the poll that the team have started working on, and like Sindhu already explained, we have given the login access and the sign up access so that we are able to enable any new user to sign up and any existing user to log in into the application. So going back to the Jira board, and we'll go through each of the user story. So first one is as a registered user, the board should be able to authenticate using my credentials, which is an existing user. In this, along with me and Shankri, we were able to incorporate and update. Yeah. So username, it's an alphabets, 8 characters. So I'll quickly write my username. For password, for now we have created a static password, which is here. So when I click on login, uh, you're able to see my screen on the a message on
Yes.
the screen.
Yeah, we can able to see your screen, Amit.
I think you need to share your full screen. You are
Okay.
able to see only the web page. Yeah.
I'll share my complete screen right away. You're able to see now?
Yes, yes, we could.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
Amit.
this message is a prompt that comes on the top. I'll quickly show you again
Mhm.
because of that screen sharing. Okay, so when I click on login, so this message comes up. After this, the intention is the page would then go back to the next page, which is our home page. And with this, we are successfully authenticated. Going back to our second user story. So this is our first user story, and that was our acceptance criteria. Any questions, anyone? Before I go to
Yeah,
the next user
Amit,
story.
it's really fantastic. The way what we are expecting, it's very nice. Can you go back to the screen, please?
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to have like the username, whatever you are adding here, right? Can we keep like email address along with the username? Is it possible? So that will look far better, right? More better.
Yes, yes, that is doable. So I would request Sindhu. Sindhu, you would be able to take that note
Yeah,
so we can
yeah, I
prioritize.
have, I have.
Thank you.
I have
Yeah,
already
thank you so
taken.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Manoj.
Thank you, Manoj, for that. Yes. Any more questions on login user story?
Ramya, Arun, do you have any, or can we move to next user story?
Let's go to the other user stories.
Yeah, thanks, Arun. Amit, please proceed.
Okay, so next one was worked up by Venkat. I'll quickly go through the user story first. As a user, the login page should give me the capability to see the masked password. I will, yeah, so I'll again give the credentials. So giving a summary of this user story, it's like this is right now hidden. So the capability is with this I button, I should be able to see what password I was entering. So it's a toggle button that we have incorporated to see and not see, basically mask and unmask the password. So yeah, that fulfills the user story. I'll quickly go back to the Jira to show you the acceptance criteria.
Mhm.
So it was by default it was masked, and we have also provided a button to mask and unmask the hidden characters. Any thoughts on this one?
We are good, Amit. Please proceed to the next user story.
Great. Next one as well was worked up by Venkat. This one was for the sign up. So as a new user, provide the capability to input my details as a new user so that a user can be registered. It had a similar acceptance criteria like the full name field should be there, email address should be accepted. So the feedback that Manoj said, it can easily be incorporated because anyway we have email address in our database. Username, it's already we are accepting as alphanumeric, and password we have as 8 character. Let me cancel that. Yeah, password we are having, and then a clickable button which is sign up. So let me quickly go to this page. So yeah, when we click on this button, sign up, a new page should open up, which is this, very similar to login, just to have the continuity in both the pages. Like I explained, all the fields, full name, email address, a username, and set a password. We've also added the capability like a placeholder is given. So whenever we start writing, the behind placeholder goes away, which was full name in this case. So that helps user to understand where
Exactly.
value, which value goes in which field. And yeah, so this is our good old sign up page. Any feedback, any thoughts?
Very nice, Amit and team. I really appreciate for the work you guys did. Just a small correction I need here. In the screen, I could see like a full name, right? All are small letter. Can you just make a like a generic? The first letter will be capital, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that will be nice?
That can be done, yes.
Yes,
All right.
Amit. Yeah, Manoj, I agree on your point. If you are having in that case, it will be more, the visibility is more good, I think.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Manoj.
Thank you, Manoj. Yeah.
Yeah, Amit. So one more thing is in both login page and sign up page, it would be nice if you can have this, company's logo. Name is really very important, and the brand should be maintained. So if that can be added in
We
both
can
the
do that.
pages, it would be great.
We can do that, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Amit, Tarun here. This is really good. This is came out as expected, like what we wanted. The one thing I want to suggest here is whenever we want to sign up, we want the email to be verified. So if we can, add this feature in the future, right? Whenever the email ID is entered and signed up, we want the email ID to be verified through the, from the mailbox. So that would be really good.
Okay. I believe that one would require some discussion, like what kind of verification validations we want to add. But yeah, we can take it up in a separate dedicated session with Sindhu as PO and you, Arun. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sindhu, one quick note on the
sure.
Ramya's comment,
Mhm.
the company's
Logo.
logo. We
Uh-huh.
would need that prior to starting our next sprint so that we can prioritize and add it.
Yeah, sure, Amit. We will discuss and we will prioritize based on that. I will
Sure.
discuss with the stakeholders as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Amit.
Any more thoughts? Anyone?
So Manoj and Ramya, Arun, anything else?
Nothing from my end. Cindy.
Thanks, Ramya.
Good to
Manoj,
go.
would you like to add anything else, Manoj?
No, really, I'm happy with the progress so far the team is doing here, right? I just wanted to know, like, for the security region, how you are maintaining the password here, how you have implemented those things.
Okay. Sorry, someone was speaking.
No, Amit, I was about to call you.
Okay. So for password for now, because this is the first sprint and we were trying to incorporate that login functionality, what we have done is, and I would go back to our Jira for that. We also faced a bug during our development, and Neha was the one who resolved it. So we received a login API from the integration team, and we are not the ones who are checking the authentication or authorization. So we are just passing on the credentials that we receive from the portal from the user, and then we share that to login API, and then we wait for 300 milliseconds to see a response. So they are the ones who are actually authenticating and authorizing if the user is good or not, and based on the error codes or success codes, we're just moving ahead. So
All right.
that's what we are.
All right. Thank you so much. Actually, I was just trying to understand, curious to know, like, how UI and things are taken care from your end. Yeah, I'm so happy now. Great.
Yeah.
Well done, team.
Thanks, Manoj.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you, team, as well. So stakeholders have provided some feedbacks for us to know. So Manoj has provided, he has requested us to have some email address when we are logging into the page in addition to the username and password. Apart from this, Ramya has proposed everything we can have in capital letter instead of small. Everything is like seems to be very small in small letters. And then company logo and brand name. Yeah, I too agree with this point. Since we are having some stock things we are handling on those stuff, some having a company logo is a priority, I believe. However, we will discuss on this. And then apart from this, email ID verification. Yeah, that is a valid point from a stakeholder, Arun. This also needs to be considered as a priority, I think. And then security reason, which was covered by Manoj. Already we have ensuring those security as a part of this 3 user stories. So thank you, team. These are all the items we have covered. And again, once again, great job, team. Irrespective of all odds, you made this. Thank you. So over to Shashank.
Yep. So that was a wonderful sprint review, and thanks for amazing feedback, Arun, Ramya, and Manoj. So while we were discussing, I was also parallelly making notes so that we can have it discussed. Also, we can add those items to our product backlog. And yeah, so I hope you're able to see my screen. The feedback, right?
Yes, yes, we could see.
All right. So yeah, that is for this sprint. And anything else before we wrap?
For this sprint, I think we have done. Everything is perfect.
Yeah, just one last question had Sindhu and Shashank. Like,
Yeah.
are we making even usernames as unique, or is it okay to have duplicate usernames if we are allowing only usernames? Of course, email ID will be unique. I understand.
Yeah, Ramya, do you remember once we have discussed, we were agreed that we will be having our user ID as unique, not to have any duplicates or something like that, right? Some 2 to 3 weeks back, we had this discussion, the same question you have raised. So that point we agreed this way. So I have proposed the same to the team as well. In future sprints, we will ensure those validations and all, Ramya.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Ramya. Thanks for your input. And thank you so much, Manoj, Ramya, and Arun for your inputs.
Thanks, Sindhu. Thanks
Yeah,
for
Shashank.
giving the overview. And yes, like Sindhu mentioned that we have just started off with a cupcake with a small piece of MVP that we started off with the project, right? So, and you all did a wonderful job. But I know because after hearing or listening again, because Neha and Shankari are new to the team. So after listening to this sprint vision and sprint goal, the product vision and the product goal that we have ultimately. So at where we are, the status quo that we are, and where we want to be down the line after 3 months. So do you have any questions from your end, guys? So let's go one after the other. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, yes, Shashank. So I have one question basically for the stakeholders. The production server is not available with us. So by when we can expect it to be available?
So Neha, may I know why production server is required?
Yeah, sure. So basically, if the production server is available with us, so we can basically do the thorough testing with production data. So it is needed for thorough testing purpose.
Okay, I understand. So I'll check on the details and I'll make sure the production server access will be provided as soon as possible for testing.
Ramya, yeah, good. A good question, Neha. But Ramya, however, since it is a production server, we may not provide access for all the team members, right? Some kind of security, and since it is a live, so in that point, we have to be little stringent at initial stage on this access area, I believe, Ramya.
Yes.
So we can discuss it on offline, and we will have some agreement how we can provide access to the team, who all can get the access. Those things we can discuss, I think.
Sure, Sindhu. I agree on that because security aspect is really very crucial.
Yes, it might be on live. So if suppose team members have updated something, then it will affect our life. And since we are maintaining stock, that may be the thing, right? Yeah, sure. Ramya. Thank you, Ramya.
Sure, Sindhu. Thanks for bringing that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, who's going next?
Hi, this is Venkat. So I have a small request. When we were testing, we found a PDF server down, and then we started debugging it. And after 1 hour, we came to know that there was a scheduled maintenance. So like we request, can anyone help us informed about the scheduled maintenance task?
Yeah, Venkat, I guess there is a email alert which might have generated, but I'm surprised like how it is not reached to you. Okay, Sindhu, could you please help me on this? Just include the
Yeah,
team as
Manoj.
just include the
Yeah,
team
Manoj.
as whoever
Actually,
is list in the DL, right?
yeah, sure, Manoj. I will ensure to include all the team members. And I heard from John stating that we have changed the vendor on this, and also this maintenance are happening at the end of Friday. But as per team concerns, if we are having this maintenance activity on the weekends, then it would be very great as per team. So they have raised this concern when when the sprint is in progress. So we have to work on this. I think, Manoj. So we
Sure.
have to align
All right.
with the new vendors to ensure that either can we have this during the weekends to not to affect our work or progress. So we have to discuss on this. And yeah, Manoj, I will note
Yeah.
it down and I will ensure all the team members are included. Since Venkat has joined recently, we might have missed his name, I think. So I will
No
do that.
problem. No
Thanks,
problem.
Manoj.
And
Thanks,
yeah,
Venkat.
even thanks for bringing my
Bringing
notice. Yeah, I'll take care for the new vendors. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Manoj. Thanks, Sindhu.
Okay. And yep, who's next? I think Yashanki.
Yeah. So hi all. Just I came up with one doubt. For now, I could see there are 1 billion downloads of this app. So looking at the statistics, we could expect about 10, it could reach to 10 millions in maybe in the next couple of months. So I believe our server will not have that capability to hold those huge data, increase in data. Is there any idea that do you have any idea on how we are going to manage this?
Shankar Arun here. Thanks for bringing this up. We really thought that this would happen after 6 months, but we are at this number right now. So I would talk to infrastructure director to see like what can be done to leverage and get this expedited. And I will come back to you and use with an update on how we can this leverage and expedite it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, guys.
Shankari.
Thanks for bringing on those.
Tim, I would like to, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Shashank, before closing, I would like to hear from the team. Are they facing any challenges when the sprint is progress? Of course, this is sprint one. We have picked some 3 to 4 user stories only. However, any that already Venkat has provided, we haven't sent out the emails. He hasn't received at time. So apart from that, any challenges, team, did you face when you're progressing? Neha, Amit. Any specific challenges you have faced?
Nothing different, just the one that Shankari already explained. The server that we're currently using, it would definitely have some scalability issues. So that's just the one that we wanted to highlight. Nothing different from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, but we have to ensure the performance as well when the data is getting increased.
Yes.
So those are all the key thing, and the security that is really important since we are maintaining with the cash and stocks. So those are all the things. Anything, Neha?
Yes, Indu,
Any
we have
challenges due to
I have already covered that point because now we have done testing through some random data as the production data is not available with us. So this was a challenge that I have faced during the sprint.
Neha, will it be helpful if I replicate the production data to some test servers or some other servers? Can I mirror the data, production data? Will it be helpful for you, Neha, or do you think some other?
Yeah, till the time we are getting the server access, it can be done that if you will giving the mirror data of that production data, it will be helpful for us.
Yeah. So Ramya, what do you think on this point? Can we mirror production data and we can provide team to test, right? In that case, we don't worry about security issues or something else, right, Ramya? When it works, what do you think? We can just get some.
Susan, I need some time on this to discuss with the client because we're not sure whether we can, just give the production data just like that. Because there are certain issues, security concerns, and all those things. So I'll get back to you on this discussion. Right? Give me a couple of days. I should be able to, provide a solution for this.
Okay. Okay.
I have a few suggestions. I'll share it on the mail to you, Sindhu and Rabia. You can consider those as well. DB links, views, something like that.
Sure. That will be great, Amit.
Sure.
Thank you so much. So I think, yeah, so if do we have any other questions for our stakeholders as we have them here? But anything apart from that, I think you can take it up in the retro. So once up right after this, we'll have a retro session. So maybe we can discuss more in detail over there. Yeah, sounds good. All right, cool. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your raising up all your challenges, and stakeholders are being so supportive. Thank you so much, guys. Without which your support, without your support, we'll not be able to deliver such amazing products. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you, Sindhu, for driving and being the mirror image of our stakeholders and sharing all the requirements and being so transparent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shashank. Thanks.
Yep, and thank you so much, team. Great work, amazing team. Great job, guys, and congratulations on the first success of the first sprint. And really hope that we continue the same momentum and speed and the delivery and the value that we are providing to the stakeholders. Amazing job, guys.
Thank you, Shashank, for you as well. You're really motivating the team, and you're the key person, key pillar, I could say. Thank you so much, Shashank.
Thank you, guys. It's not possible without all your efforts. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, team.
Thank you all.
It's really a good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice job.
So, team, what we have achieved so far is great. And I would like to provide some overview